All right, guys, this is the Michael Myers fanatic back with another movie review, and this time it's Halloween Ends. And let me tell you, I'm glad it did. This movie is absolutely fucking horrible. This movie, if it were food, it would be one big salad of confusion. One big bowl of confusion. A lot of the times I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, who was saying what they were talking about, or any of that. It's like they were just talking just to be talking. The movie stars Jamie Lee Curtis as the iconic Laurie Strode, Andi Matichak as her granddaughter Allison, who is now a nurse, and Rohan Campbell, or Rohan Campbell, whatever, as Corey Cunningham, a character who came out of fucking nowhere. And I mean, this guy came out of the clear blue sky. It's like he was written specifically for this story. As resident of Collinwood said, shout out to him, there were no seeds planted for the Corey Cunningham character. He just popped up out of nowhere. So anyway, the movie starts off with a rock-like song coming on, and Corey Cunningham is on his way to this boy's house named Jeremy, who he's going to be babysitting for the night. It's Halloween 2019, 1 year after the events of Halloween and Halloween Kills. Anyway, so Corey arrives at the house, and he's greeted by Jeremy's parents, who go over a set of rules with him, saying that Jeremy can't stay up past a certain time, he can't have too much candy, and be careful about the scary movies. Now, they happen to be watching John Carpenter's The Thing. Wow, watching a John Carpenter movie in what is essentially a John Carpenter movie. You might say, Myers fan, how is Halloween Ends a John Carpenter movie? Well, let's see. Not to mention it's based on John Carpenter's Halloween, and they brought John Carpenter on board for what is essentially a creative consultant role. That means they want John to sort of guide them in the right direction. So anyway, the parents leave, and the kid, Jeremy, starts inexplicably talking about Michael Myers. Well, the Michael Myers fanatic has a question. How the fuck does a little kid know about Michael Myers? That's my question. I mean, you would think his parents would shield him from that kind of thing, but apparently not. I mean, I know Michael Myers is like the town legend at this point, but come on. I mean, how is a little kid schooling a teenager on the town lore? I mean, that's just crazy. Anyway, the kid obviously gets bored and decides to pull a prank on Corey, making Corey and the audience think that he's possibly been abducted by Myers. There's debris all over the house. Not really debris, but you know what I mean. Things scattered about. And we're supposed to believe that Michael Myers has possibly come into the house and taken Jeremy. So anyway, when Corey goes to look for him, then that's when Jeremy locks Corey in the closet. Corey bursts out of the closet, knocking Jeremy off the staircase. The parents come home, of course, and they yell, "What have you done? What have you done?" At this point, the Halloween theme comes on, and you get the credits and all that stuff. Next thing you know, we fast forward 3 years to Halloween 2022, and at this point, Corey is accused of killing a child. And he is later accosted by bullies who I didn't even know were members of a marching band. I thought they were just regular school jocks, but no. Apparently they're members of a marching band, and I want to put out a disclaimer. I'm not going to remember every little nook and cranny of this film. So this movie review is not going to be perfect. Because I only saw the film once. I was going to watch it again, but I couldn't due to being busy. So anyway, Corey is bullied by these guys, and this is some of the worst dialogue ever. They're at this store in Haddonfield, and they tell Corey, you have to buy us beers. We're seniors. What the fuck does that even mean? He doesn't have to do shit. You can't make him buy you beers. This movie is weird, I'm telling you. Anyway, so they basically surround Corey. Corey is scared or whatever, and he squeezes the bottle of this chocolate beverage. I guess it's like a Yoo-hoo knockoff, and he crushes it, and it cuts his hand. And I think that was conveniently written in so he could go meet Allison, played by Andi Matichak. Anyway, he goes to the doctor, and of course he's taken by Laurie. Laurie scares the bullies away, and she says to Corey while handing him a knife, do you want to do it or do you want me to do it? Meaning she's going to slash their tires or either Corey can do it. What kind of mentor is that? She's old enough to be this kid's grandmother, let alone his mother, and she's basically encouraging this kid to commit vandalism. Anyway, she takes him to the hospital where he meets Allison and her boss, Dr. Mathis, played by the legendary guiding light actor Michael O'Leary. So basically, Allison is examining the kid's wound, and she tells him, don't move. Now, let the Michael Myers fanatic tell you guys something. I've had my share of surgery while being awake, and the doctor really does say, don't move. So let me say this to you. I want to pose a question to you. Here comes a question. If you tell a person don't move, then why are you talking to him? Because if you talk to him, he's going to move. Because when you talk, you move. You're going to move your mouth, which might cause you to move your body, like your arms or your fingers or whatever. So why would she say don't move and then talk to the kid, causing him to move? That literally doesn't make any sense. So while Dr. Mathis is trying to fix his injury, I guess he jumps or whatever, causing Dr. Mathis to jump and essentially knock over the equipment. Dr. Mathis gets mad at the kid, and then they make their way back home or whatever, and Allison is suddenly smitten with this guy who's basically the next Ted Bundy. And of course, she doesn't know that he's a future murderer. But anyway, I'm jumping the gun. The bullies catch up with him later, and they basically throw him into the river or whatever. He winds up in the sewer, and he's dragged into the sewer by Myers, and Myers strangles him, but decides to let him go, stares at him for a while, and then Corey is seemingly possessed with Myers' powers. Basically, Corey tells Michael, show me, as in show me how to kill. And then that's at the point where Corey, I think he lures the police officer who's Allison's ex-boyfriend into the sewer, and Michael Myers kills the police officer. So now Corey, being the new Michael, dons Michael's mask, finds a mechanic outfit, and he's going around town killing people as the new Michael Myers. Of course, he revisits the scene of the crime, so to speak, going back into the old house where Jeremy died. And that's where he meets Laurie, and Laurie basically talks to him about some shit. I admit, I don't remember it, but she basically tells him that she sees the evil growing him in him or whatever. And then Corey says some bullshit about what are you going to do when Michael comes back and all this. And by the way, when Corey is texting Allison, his mom is like, what are you doing? And he doesn't want to tell her that he's texting Allison. And then she's like, boys who keep secrets don't get custard for dessert. What the hell kind of line is that? Who wrote this? I don't understand this at all. And what the hell is that hanging out of his father's mouth? I mean, is that spaghetti? Is it lo mein? Like, what is that? And why does he just sit there with the food hanging out of his mouth? I don't get it. It just looks disgusting. Anyway, Corey works at this junkyard where he essentially kills the bullies at the junkyard later on. So anyway, Allison and Corey are basically up on this high surface, and it might have been the same place where he fell from during his encounter with the bullies. Like I said, a lot of the shit I don't even fucking remember. I just remember it being really bad. But here's a couple of things that I did like about it. I like the fact that Allison was dating a murderer and didn't even know it. Because it has that kind of true crime vibe to it. I like that. I like Corey's mask. I like the theme song. And of course, Andi Matichak was given a lot of screen time. And I like that because I'm a fan of hers. Outside of that, it was horrible. Horrible. So basically, like I said, Corey kills these guys. And there's this one DJ named Willie the Kid or whatever the hell his name is. And he's this famous radio DJ in town. And he works near the radio tower. And that's at the place where Corey tells Allison, you know, oh, I like to come here sometimes and whatever. I guess he likes to clear his head or whatever the case is. And anyway, like I said, she doesn't even know she's dating a murderer. Her and Laurie get into a fight where she curses out Laurie and slams the door in her face, which sort of reminds me of Annie and Laurie fighting in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Here's the thing. Allison basically tells Laurie she's obsessed with death. Here's the part that doesn't make sense. Why would she be mad at Laurie knowing what happened 4 short years ago? What do you mean she's obsessed with death? Michael Myers just killed your entire fucking family. What are you talking about? He killed your mother and your father. What do you mean she's obsessed with death? And he almost killed you and your grandmother. This movie, I'm telling you, man, it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. And you can't make it make sense. Oh my goodness, Laurie's obsessed with death, but Myers just murdered her whole fucking family? Huh? I don't get this movie. Anyway, Corey comes back to Laurie's house and Laurie's talking some shit about, oh, I'm, you know, she calls the police and she's like, oh, I think I'm gonna kill myself or whatever. I would like to report a suicide attempt. And then Corey, dressed as Michael, comes there. And then Laurie's like, you didn't think I'd really kill myself, did you? And she shoots him. And then she takes off his mask and she says, you came here to kill me, so do it. Now, I actually like that line. But seeing how she used it on Corey, why would she say, you came here to kill me, so do it? First of all, how did Laurie even know that Corey was coming back to kill her? This movie literally makes no sense. It's not making sense. She just knows that he's coming back to kill her? And how did she know that Michael was still alive? Remember, she closed the book on Michael. She's writing her memoirs. This movie does not make any fucking sense. Excuse my language. If you have kids in the room, it doesn't make any sense. You cannot make this make sense. It just doesn't. I'm telling you, man, I'm a big fan. Big fan. But I'm not going to lie. Listen to me. I'm not going to lie. I'm just not. Long story short, Michael Myers, the real Michael Myers, comes to Laurie's house and kills Corey Cunningham. And he barely has enough strength to do that. He breaks his neck. And he takes his mask back. And then he and Laurie get into a fight. He tries to cut off Laurie's hand with a garbage disposal. But Laurie gets the upper hand by pushing a refrigerator on him. And some other shit that I admittedly don't remember. But the bottom line is she got the upper hand. Allison basically says, oh, I'm not going to let this happen to you. But you just cursed her out hours ago. This movie doesn't make any sense. Let me ask you a question. How come I always got to be the good guy? How come the Michael Myers fanatic always have to be the good guy and pretend like everything's all hunky-dory? So wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm not allowed to hate their movies, but they can hate their movies? I'm not allowed to say nothing bad about their movies, but they can say something bad about their movies. I was talking to this one podcaster, and he told me, he was like, you got to be careful what you say, or actors won't want to come on your show because you have an adversarial opinion. So wait, I can't dislike their movies, but they can? What the fuck kind of logic is that? Even the actors themselves will tell you that their own fucking movies are horrible. Jamie Lee Curtis called Halloween Resurrection a joke. And you're telling me that this movie is better than Resurrection? You gotta be kidding me. Anyway, getting back to the movie, she kills Michael Myers, takes his body to the junkyard, and they grind it into mush. And then, oh, by the way, Corey stabs himself and tries to frame Laurie for his suicide. And then I think Allison admits that she knows Corey, or she realizes, I should say, that Corey killed those people. Okay, so if you realize that, then why were you mad at your grandma? That's what I'm saying. This movie doesn't make any sense. I'm telling you, I don't want to hear anything about Halloween Resurrection ever again. I don't want to hear another negative fucking word about Resurrection after this shitstorm. I don't want to hear it. And I'm telling you straight, for any actor that I try to interview in the future, just because I don't like the movie, it doesn't have anything to do with my feelings towards you personally. It was just a badly written movie. It has nothing to do with my like or dislike towards you. If I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't. And it doesn't have anything to do with the movie or whatever. I separate the two of you. This movie was garbage. But I'm an Andi Matichak fan. This movie was garbage. But I'm a Jamie Lee Curtis fan. Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2, garbage. But I'm a Danielle Harris fan. It has nothing to do with you as an actor or actress. My dislike of the movie is aimed specifically at the movie, not you. They need to understand that. Anyway, Michael Myers is dead. Allison rides off into the sunset by herself. And Laurie, I guess she's going to live with that Officer Hawkins guy. And that's just the end of the movie. That's it. And by the way, why was Laurie living in such a shitty part of town? Maybe, I guess you could make the argument that that was a poor section or a low income section of Haddonfield. You could make that argument, because I always thought that Haddonfield was an affluent town or whatever. But it looked very hood-like. The sidewalks were all fucked up. Like, what's up with that? But anyway, for what it's worth, guys, Halloween Ends, starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Andi Matichak, and that guy, Rohan Campbell, or whatever his name is. I think he did a good job as Corey. I just think the Corey Cunningham character didn't make any sense because it came out of nowhere. And by the way, Dr. Mathis, played by Michael O'Leary, died off screen, and he was having sex with one of the nurses or something like that. And Michael killed the nurse the same way he killed Bob Sims in Halloween 1978. No surprise there, because they wouldn't know creativity and originality if it jumped up and kicked them in the ass. They just wouldn't know it. All they did was copy everyone else. And they copied the very same people who they talk shit about. That's the amazing thing. You spend time talking about the first 8 movies, but you copy the very same 8 movies that you talk shit about. So in saying that, I'm the Michael Myers fanatic. I approve this message, and here is my review / rant on Halloween Ends. And I'm glad it did. Thank you for listening. Please be sure to follow me on all forms of social media at the MyersFan25 and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Thank you for watching.